Welcome to another semi-exciting episode of Breaklines, the movie. Holidays are upon us, and I was thinking about wishing you a very Merry Christmas, but I thought you might accuse me of indulging in microaggressions and equating my cheery goodwill with violence. So, am I okay saying Merry Christmas to you all, or?
Using Happy Holidays accepts the fact that, I don't know, maybe not everyone's a Christian.
Right.
There's, and it's not the 1950s anymore, and there are people celebrating all sorts of holidays around this season. So it does seem more inclusive to me. I wouldn't call anybody out personally for saying Merry Christmas.
Do you care if anyone says Happy Hanukkah?
I don't.
Would you be like, hey, wait?
In fact, I encourage it during these times.
It's not my. No, yeah, I'm with Chris. Who cares if you say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or Happy Christmas? Or...
Right. Does it run the risk though of depersonalizing the holiday? Like, so for example, if you get a birthday card and it just says Dear Blank, as opposed to Dear Chris, wouldn't it be less touching, less moving?
That does seem that's true. I would be forced to agree with you, but I might say that's a false analogy. But how about this? If I know someone is a Christian, I will wish them a Merry Christmas.
Right.
And if I know someone is Jewish, I will wish them Happy Hanukkah.
I think if you're fine with saying Merry Christmas to someone that may or may not be Christian, it's no difference than saying Happy Holidays to. I don't think deeply about that.
I would say
who cares?
It's more inclusive. It's more aimed at a harmonious, diverse society, and I would support it. And I don't think there's anything lost culturally. And I would also say that walking around saying Merry Christmas to everybody in our diverse society, I know there's people that do that with the assumption that Christianity is the one true religion, and the idea of saying one of these religions is superior or correct is fucking foolish to me.
But isn't Christmas now a very unifying holiday, that it encapsulates religious observers as well as secular observers, that avoiding saying it in some ways can be divisive. It's like, hey, people are becoming overly conscious of differences as opposed to a holiday that traditionally has been a unifying force.
But you're saying that avoiding saying it could be divisive, and saying it could be divisive. I don't think it's divisive.
When I say Merry Christmas to someone, I'm not under the assumption necessarily that they are celebrating Christmas. It's like when I was in Malaysia and someone would say Selamat Hari Raya to me around Ramadan. They were Muslim. Many of them knew I wasn't Muslim. But I took it as like an invite. Like they were actually saying, this is my holiday and this is my blessing onto you, and I'm opening my heart and my home to you. And I think saying Merry Christmas could have the same effect here. That it doesn't have to be an imposition, like here, bow down to Christ and our holiday.
I think you're right. I think it should be taken as a pretty light thing. I really think that the only reason this is a thing is it's something that like the Fox News crowd has like tried to rally Christians over and set it up as a fake baiting of like, they're trying to take your religion, they're trying to do this to society, and I think it's more of like bait for a rallying cry. And
what percentage of people that say Merry Christmas actually celebrate Christmas in the sense that they're non-secular? I mean, in America, I think people celebrate Christmas whether they believe in Christ.
Yeah, some statistics. This is from Pew Research. Roughly 3/4 of both Asian American Buddhists and Asian American Hindus celebrate Christmas. Is there then that much we have to worry about in saying Merry Christmas? Obviously,
but
if
who's
someone
worried
who's
about
like,
it? I mean,
yeah. Well, I think the PC crowd certainly, as that's why they encourage people to say Happy Holidays. But it means sometimes like I'm not hearing my holiday personalized every year, nor are millions of other Americans, because people are afraid of how it might be interpreted. So we don't personalize holidays. It becomes a more formalized greeting and a more generic one. And I wonder if something in the process is maybe lost. because of our fear to offend.
I mean, who has stopped and corrected you? Are there actually people going further and hardlining with this message than like, hey guys, maybe we should, I don't know, put happy holidays on our coffee cups? Like, is there anybody really militantly being like, no? I mean, where I see it is in common public spaces where it
Right.
does make sense to, where there's, if happy holidays makes it more inclusive, I can't see where you're going where some sort of authenticity or meaning gets lost. I mean, it started off as a Christian holiday mixed in with Santa Claus
Right.
myths and shit like that from Europe, and now it's essentially just a, part of it is a co-opted consumerist frenzy.
Right.
Though there is an element of, here's the fun cultural things we do this year with trees and parties and stuff like that.
I guess what I'm saying, it would apply to other holidays as well. Like if I know somebody is Jewish, I would want to say Happy Hanukkah as opposed to Happy Holidays, or Selamat Hari Raya to a Muslim. And it seems that if we impose Happy Holidays as a cultural standard, it runs the risk of making that less achievable. I do feel like both sides in the culture wars can be kind of passive aggressive about it. Like, as you suggested, people can go out of their way to say Merry Christmas. But then I feel the other side can be just as assertive in insisting on happy holidays. And as a result, it's left us pretty divided societally.
I'm not Christian.
Right.
I'm going to say Merry Christmas to you and my friends.
Do you ever worry about offending somebody in your greeting during this season? Does it ever cross your mind, like, hey, which one do I use here?
In a professional, like at work, I'm going to tell my coworkers Happy Holidays, probably.
Yeah,
I
I'm sure
don't,
they will.
I mean, I would. I probably use happy holidays. I don't feel in any way constrained or limited.
So you hate Christians, so okay, well, interesting.
Well, I mean,
We knew that, but at least
I wouldn't say hate, but I
Somewhere between hate and indifference.
just like Hamas supporters who say, I don't hate Jews. Just
oh, Jesus Christ.
Wow, you're anti- wow, I didn't know that.
I'm being set up here. I'm being set up. I feel like it's more considerate to say happy holidays, and I feel like I give up nothing from saying that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any authenticity lost or anything lost at all.
the reality is, a majority of Americans, cross-culturally, cross-religions, celebrate Christmas. So there's a pretty good chance that if you say Merry Christmas, you're gonna be getting it right. And
Wait, you said
we're saying Happy
1/3.
Holidays to accommodate for a very small minority in the country that don't. Are we doing that because we're afraid to offend, and that some people are playing up how offended they are and would be quick to correct somebody? Hey, that's not my holiday.
I think
When they should be expected to say, you know what, it's not my holiday. I celebrate, fill in the
Shouldn't
blank,
even
and move on.
factor in. I mean, if someone says Merry Christmas and you get offended, then you're an asshole. If someone says Happy Holidays and you get offended, you're probably
Right.
an asshole.
Yeah.
It's,
But what if you say Happy Hanukkah to a Muslim and vice versa, and you get offended?
well,
during these
then you
times?
have to. Then you're getting into the realm of religious dogmatism, and that's a whole separate
Right,
issue.
right. But rather than fearing how offended someone should be, should the expectation be on somebody who celebrates a different holiday and you got the greeting wrong, shouldn't the expectation be on them to gently correct you as opposed to, oh my God, buddy, you got it wrong. Why didn't you say Happy Holidays instead?
Wait, Giannis, are you suggesting that we need to, respect and honor people's chosen holidays?
I seem to be.
Interesting.
As long as they're white.
Fair. All right.
Nice trap. Nice trap,
Thank you, thank
Christopher.
Well, I am, and I think we've lost touch with that, right, during these times, because we do, there is social capital in playing up how offended you are, right? It's
Yes.
become a tool of manipulation. And people use it to enforce their demands on other people. very
Right. If you're
widespread in our
properly
society. It's a very
properly
manipulative
woke,
gesture.
secular American, you could get offended by someone saying Merry Christmas,
Right.
but you wouldn't get offended by any other religious greeting.
Yeah, I get
which doesn't make any sense.
and I get that there's almost like a caricature of like, you know, the woke sensitivity asshole out there, but I haven't run into that person.
The friction isn't there, but the trepidation is. So, for example, advertisers, some of whom I'm familiar with, have debated internally whether they should put Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas on their digital greeting cards.
Mm-hmm.
Even if their market is not culturally that diverse and is primarily Christian. So we're living in a very,
Who cares?
but we're living in a trepid society where we are like, worried. Maybe as to your point, we're overthinking it. But the fact is we are overthinking it, and we're overthinking it because the climate is what it is.
If we're talking about news, if we're talking about products, if we're talking about people that are playing this whole angle to sell more shit to us, right? Guess what? There's probably the way you can segment and advertise to your market these days. You know, if you go on Facebook, you can probably literally say, hey, if people meet this marketing demographic, you tell them Merry Christmas from Bud Light, and these
From our
folks,
favorite transgender influencer.
these people probably insert any brand there, and people would be like, yeah. They said Merry Christmas. They gave credence and respect to Christ. I'm going to go buy more of this beer
not
product.
all Christians sound like that, like most of them.
But I mean, the males do. But but the point is then you can read the room and be like, oh, these people. We're running this advertisement in liberal areas of California, we'll do Happy Holidays, or we're running this in a diverse area.
I mean, it's also just kind of silly that it's a thing, especially in light of what's going on in Israel and Palestine. It's a luxury to even have to fucking worry about something like that. It's ridiculous.
And the fact that we do have time to worry about those things is probably what's tearing us apart.
Yeah, I mean, and it gets even more specific than that. And it is silly. You know what? If you're really dedicated to a secular, inclusive society, then it doesn't matter if someone says Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or Allah Akbar or whatever. It's not... If that's what's offending you, then you're a very lucky person.
Right.